Now, if you have this situation happen, don't fret. Every message or every interaction that I have with the guest, and I'm suggesting this to you guys, screenshot it and post it into your photos.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Kev B, and I want to welcome you to the TURO Business Reviews. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, turn on your notification bells so you know when I drop these videos, man. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
Welcome back, YouTube. It's your boy Kev B, man, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the messaging in TURO and how vital it is to make all your communications through the TURO app if possible. You know what I'm saying? TURO has this part or this section in where you get the booking. So it has 3 tabs. Anybody who has the screen, I'm talking about from an iPhone user. I really don't know what it looks like on an Android. Probably not that great. You know, team iPhone all day. But they have these 3 tabs. The top section is details. Then you have messaging, and then you have, I believe, the third one is help. I believe that's what it is help, and then each tab tells you something different. Obviously, details gives you the details of your trip, the dates in which and time that you have it booked. It also gives you the pickup location for the vehicle, wherever, you know, whatever you have set, as well as extras that you may have, and details for the car, who's picking up the car, the name of the person, just the details that you need. In the help section, it has the where you can go and you can click a couple of buttons and get in contact with TURO support. And it also has your the section for where you can find, if you're a renter or if you are a host, if you haven't done this yet, it has a section where you can find the insurance agreement, the insurance that they have, which covers the TURO during that time. So you could print that out and put it in the car. Usually there's a generic one that you have that you can put into your cars. But if you have not done it yet, as a host, it's something that you should have in each vehicle, just in case. You never know. Maybe your renter their phone might have died and they get pulled over by the police, and they need to be able to show proof, proof of insurance. Obviously, they won't be able to show. You don't want them to have your regular insurance, because if anything happens, accident, whatever, you don't want them to be the person to make the claim to your insurance. Now, if you have commercial grade insurance where you have renter's insurance or whatever they have for your vehicle, maybe that's cool for you. But the TURO insurance is definitely what you want to put in there. Now, back to the topic at hand. Now, messaging. First of all, whenever someone books your car, you should have a preset message to message them. That allows for you to have somewhat of a passive stream or a passive way to run your TURO business. That's the first tip. If you have not taken advantage of that, TURO just rolled it out a few months ago. They originally only had it on the laptop, but now it's also on the app version as well, where you can set preset messages. Now, the messages that I have, they detail just a welcome, hey, how you doing? Tells them how and what they need to do to be able to receive the keys from the vehicle once they arrive at the vehicle, and lets them know, where. There's different things, but mainly because I mostly do people that come and pick up the cars from my location. That's most of my business. I mostly just let people know the processes and procedures that it would take for them to receive the keys for the vehicle. And I put that all in a message. And then another message that I have set, so I have 2 separate welcome messages. One for when they pick it up at the airport, and I have those directions as well, and let them know the car will be parked, whatever area, depending on their flight and things like that. And I ask them what's their airline and all those beautiful things. So, and then the exit message. The welcome message, you can set it by time as well. So the welcome message I have set to 1 minute after they book it. So if you book the car, let's say right now, and it's 3:20. At 3:20, once the booking goes through, at 3:21, you will receive a message saying, hey, such and such, thank you for booking my vehicle, and here's the process and how you get the vehicle. And then 24 hours prior to them returning the car, I have it set to give them their exit message, and it does the same thing, just in reverse. What they need to do to drop the vehicle off, what pictures they should take, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Those are the two things I would say you need to set as far as like preset messages, because back in the days, the way we used to do our preset messages, I used to have it saved on my phone in my notes section. I have an iPhone, save it in my notes, and every time a booking would come through, I would have to copy, paste it in there, copy it, put the name, paste it. And it wasn't that long of a process. It takes about a minute once you realize you got the booking, but sometimes you're not always near your phone, or I don't always have my ringer on because of where I work. So that was a huge feature that Turo rolled out. I loved it. Of course, I use it all the time now. So all your messaging should be done through the Turo app after that as well. Sometimes and every once in a while you'll get a guest that will want to text you on your phone directly. I understand it, because as a guest you feel as though we're texting through this app, but if I text you right on your phone, I probably could get a quicker response. And depending on the host, I know for me, Turo messages, when I get an alert from Turo, it stays on the top of my phone. It doesn't go away until I address it, or until I open that up, for me. And if you're a host, you should set your settings to that. So if I get a text message, I'll get an alert, it'll go away. You just get the bing and it'll go away, or however you have your text messages set up. But for Turo in particular, when I get a message from Turo, it does not leave my home screen or my background or the little banner at the top. It does not go away. I have it set to stay permanently until I address it. So right there, I can always get in contact with the guest. If you guys ever want to rent a car from me, the link's in the bio. I'll always answer your message. I'll always see them. You don't have to worry about that. But guests, I believe, feel as though it's easier to get in contact with you if I message you through the phone. Some guests are coming from out of the country. I'm in South Florida. This is a nice hub. A lot of people come from all over the world to visit South Florida. So sometimes they'll get here and their phones won't work. So if they're connected to Wi-Fi, they can use WhatsApp. Now, if you have this situation happen, don't fret. Every message or every interaction that I have with the guest, and I'm suggesting this to you guys, screenshot it and post it into your photos. Upload it into your photos. Every single one. I don't care if you talk to them for 5 pages on your text messages or your WhatsApp. Screenshot every single message and make sure you post it into your Turo app. Because I had this situation where I had a renter who was like a first mate on a ship. So I guess they were in town for a short period of time, and while they were docked, he wanted to be able to have a car so he could get around the city. No problem. So what happened was, he was supposed to be coming back. They had left for to go somewhere and come back on the ship, and he wasn't going to make it back in time. So he was able to message me. I guess their ship had Wi-Fi through WhatsApp, or I just think through regular messaging, and he was communicating to me that he wanted to extend his trip, but he could not call because of where he was at for whatever reason. So I had to take the messages, copy paste them all into my photo section of the app, then get in contact with Turo and let them know, hey, my guest, he is late. He's not going to be able to come and pick up the car, but he wanted to extend the trip for a certain amount of time to a certain amount of time so that he could do this. Now, Turo, they said, okay, hold on. They tried to get in contact with them, and I let them know, hey, he's on a ship. He's probably not going to be able to answer. but I pasted all of our messages into the photo section so that you guys can review. And that was a lifesaver for me, because, well, for him as well, because then it avoids him having to get the late fee and, just looking all around bad. He communicated with me. So it was able for TURO to now see, and they were able to determine, even though they weren't able to get in contact with him, they were able to extend the trip because they saw the conversations that me and this guest had, that he wanted to extend the trip for another day. And they were able to now go in on their end and extend it. Granted, they kept trying him to make sure, when I say trying to call him and get in contact with him to make sure that this is indeed what he wanted to do. And they had everything set, and they tried again to call him right before they pushed it through. Luckily, I guess he was close enough to shore, and he said, yes, this is what I want to do. They said, okay, sir. They verified it, and boom, he was able to extend the trip for another day, so he didn't get a late fee or anything outside of that, or anything for that matter. But the reason why I brought this up was because I wanted you guys to understand the importance of messaging in the TURO app. Because if it's in the app, TURO's first going to always check the messages that you had first with the guest to see if there's any indication or correlation with what you're saying that the guest said, just so they can have verification on their end. We didn't have that. So in this case, I used photos, and I screenshotted every conversation with him. It had his phone number at the top of the text, so I made sure I highlighted that. On iPhone, it tells you the number of the person that you're chatting with, and I highlighted that, and it's in the photo, so they were able to go back and look at each photo, and after they reviewed it, they say, yes, we see that here, yes, we see that here, to confirm and to verify that what I was telling them was exactly what the guest really wanted. Now, in other cases, there could be a myriad of reasons or other cases that could come up where this could be a useful scenario. But for this particular example, in this particular trip that I had, it worked out perfectly for me. They still were able to get in contact with the guest, but had they weren't able to, they already had the verification through the text messages that we had, and I posted into the chat. They would prefer that it be through the TURO chat, because anybody could post anything and screenshot anything. TURO's always thinking about liabilities, so they're thinking about that on their end. But the second best thing, if you don't have the chat, would be to screenshot the photos and to post them so that it can be reviewed for everyone to see. And that's it, man. So make sure when you're messaging and your guests, if they call you, they want to talk to you, I always let them know, it's not a problem if you need to call me. If there's any emergency, there's not a problem. I'm not upset with you messaging me. It's not a problem if you want to message me here. But I would just prefer, I always use the language, I don't mind you calling me or messaging me however you feel. I would just prefer that we keep all of our messaging through the TURO app, just so that we both have a record of it. And I use the excuse of, I get a lot of text messages a day. I'm a business owner. So I don't want there to be a situation where you're really trying to get in contact with me through the text and I'm unable to answer you because it may get buried under a bunch of text messages that I've received right after yours. And guests are usually pretty understanding, and they have no problem doing that, man. So that's my video for today. I hope you guys learned something from this, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
If you believe you can't make it, you won't make it. If you believe that you can do it, you will do it.